Have you ever swatted a stray bee out of frustration? Maybe it was disturbing your peaceful Sunday afternoon spent sipping tea and reading quality literature. Perhaps it was that stupid, annoying buzzing sound that it so inconsiderately insists on making. Well, don't beat yourself up. After all, you're only a monster. Bees, or more specifically, honeybees, are small, fluffy, kitten-like creatures that work tirelessly their entire lives to make delicious stores of honey. But don't go thinking that these creatures are living in their own selfish micro-world that only affects them. Bees are so much more important to the world at large than many of us understand. So, let's take a closer look. First, let's take a look at their history. Sharing the same common ancestor as ants and wasps, bees have been producing honey the same way for well over 150 million years, buzzing alongside the now extinct dinosaurs and surviving several mass extinctions. Fast forward a few megaannums, and Cleopatra was using a honey face mask as part of her daily skin routine. The honey she slapped on her face, just like today's, is extremely long-lasting. Recently, archaeologists found a 2,000-year-old jar of honey in an ancient Egyptian tomb, describing the taste as lovely. In evolutionary terms, this all means bees are doing a lot of things right. A modern society of honeybees consists of roughly 20 to 60,000 individuals with one ruling queen. All the workers are female and spend the entirety of their 6 weeks of life working just about every second towards the upkeep of the city walls and provisions. In theory, a single bee would need to fly 90,000 miles or 3 times round the earth just to produce 1 pound of honey.
Let me die.
As soon as a good source of nectar is found, workers will immediately tell the others exactly where to find it in their own language. A series of complex differentiating buzzes? Certainly not. This is the language of dance. She'll cut some serious shapes, which I just cannot animate, so this is all you're getting. Known as the waggle dance, in relation to the positions of the sun and the hive. This dance is actually so calculated that it can be interpreted by humans, and if you know how to read it, you can find out exactly what they're talking about, though it may not be as interesting as you think.
Buzz. I am Buzz. We are a Buzz. I am a good Buzz.
All new bees are laid by the queen, who acts as the central brain to this multi-bodied organism. When the time is right, she will start giving birth to males, known as drones. They do very little indeed. They are much larger and heavier than their female counterparts, and generally just lay about doing nothing until mating season. Karma, however, is rather swift. During a mating swarm of new prospective queens, the male bees will suffer a suicidal climax, as they have to quickly propel most of the fluids from their body into their endorphalus to impregnate the princesses, resulting in an audible pop and almost instant death. Those who remain alive are quickly cast to their death from the hive, having served their ultimate purpose. And you worry about stage fright. There are, of course, politics within the walls of the kingdom. If the queen gets sloppy, she'll start producing lazy, infertile males who sit around eating, playing cards, and smoking cigars without paying any attention to the advancements of the females. This endangers the family line, and the citizens look on with increasing frustration and dissatisfaction. If this attitude persists, the society will make a silent vote to dethrone the queen and replace her with a younger, more proactive heir. Documents are shredded, treaties are signed, and the queen is given a comfortable retirement package and an exile cottage in the countryside. Just kidding. The workers actually pile on top of her and heat their bodies to 117 degrees Fahrenheit, violently cooking her to death in seconds. Many people have taken to domesticating the honey that bees produce. To gain access to the hive, keepers need to get the colony into a docile state. Most people here assume that a gas is pumped into the hive which causes the bees to become drowsy. In reality, beekeepers are simply pumping smoke burned from bits of cardboard and newspaper into the hive. Smoke affects bees because they think it's a forest fire, so in order to save their resources, a grand feast is endorsed, and they gorge themselves on their honey stores in preparation for evacuation. This causes them to become bloated and fatigued, after which they'll generally pay much less attention to the intruders, allowing them to carry out essential maintenance. Despite the rise in beekeeping, the facts remain that bees are dying very quickly due to the rise of an aggressive mite called Varroa. Bees are attacked by parasites that cause them to be drained of their energy and are born with deformed wings. Bee societies can suffer devastating losses. Inspectors for beehives across Europe carry out regular examinations of keepers' hives. If enough traces of Varroa are found, the entire hive is burnt to a cinder. instantly. Also contributing to the decline of bees is the radiation emitted by cell phones, and of course habitat loss, almost entirely created by these guys. This is devastating, not just to the keepers, but to the ecosystem that we all depend on, leading us to our final point. Why should we care? Bees contribute outstandingly more than other species to the circle of life. They gather nectar from flowers, plants, and trees. In the process, pollen sticks to their bodies and is able to be naturally spread from place to place, ensuring the rebirth of new vegetation, which provides a huge amount of food components we consume every day. Honey, wonderful, delicious, and medically sought after as it is the least the bees do in terms of contribution. Make no mistake, if bees do go extinct, humanity will have to find another solution to mass pollination very quickly to save the ecosystem from dire consequences. So, next time a bee flies into your home, don't swat it. Give it a drink of sugar water, open your windows, and leave the room to allow it to get back outside and back to saving your life.
Good buzz.
Hopefully this has inspired you to have a better appreciation for bees, and indeed all insects of every kind. Except wasps. They can royally f*** off. Subscribe, please.